Happy Tuesday. Whatever that might mean for you. Today is April 7th, 2026. I'm here to give you the updates surrounding the war with the United States. It's not real versus Iran. Let's get it. We are currently at the place in the timeline where every sane United States citizen is collectively asking the same question. Who Trump feeling like? No, really, who is Trump feeling like? And let me quickly remind you all of what this man, the United States president, stated on April 5th, as today is April 7th, okay? Only 2 days ago. Listen.
If your children are watching, be warned, the president did not use polite language. Quote, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. We should note that destroying civilian power infrastructure is generally considered to constitute a war crime under international law, though the president could argue that the infrastructure has dual use and also is utilized by Iran's military.
And then after posting that, the president of the United States decides to extend the deadline of the ultimatum that he issued against Iran. Mind you, Iran officially rejected their ceasefire plan, so there's really nothing to extend. However, the president has extended the deadline to today, April 7th, 8 p.m. And what Trump states is the third and final deadline. He suggests that this is the final deadline, but we shall see, as we know that this man is a proven liar. He's a liar, so we gonna wait and see. So now the deadline for Iran to accept the ceasefire plan is extended, even though Iran had already officially rejected the ceasefire plan. So now the world waits to see if Trump is actually going to obliterate the entire civilization of the Iranian nation after 8 p.m. today. But see, with the restructuring of the military, the United States military, you understand, firing of 12 senior officials and over 30 generals rejecting, defying Trump's orders, how you going to get it done? The threats to obliterate and destroy the entire civilization of Iran. How are you going to get it done if you have no loyal military? How are you going to get it done? No military backing equals no retaliation. No following through of any threat of any kind. Not to mention, to follow through with the action of actually destroying the entire civilization of a nation is a war crime. It is a war crime. And if Trump actually figures out a way to fulfill that, considering you understand our military is not really working with him, understand that the judgment day that the United States will face, oh baby, is going to be a movie. But yeah, that's your update.
The unthinkable is happening. President Trump is allegedly threatening Iran with basically doing a nuke, the same nuke they did to Japan. I am not kidding. This is exactly what this fool just wrote. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments, the long and complex history. What the fuck is he on? God bless the great people of Iran. What the actual fuck is... What is he on? And what you mean, total regime change? This is not a regime change. The sun took over. So what is he talking about? Trump has been lying all the time. I promise you this, and I'm telling you this for a person that don't live in America right now. I'm living overseas, working overseas. If Trump does what everyone is now thinking, I am watching international news, and they are over here literally confused. They are literally alleging also that Trump is publicly threatening Iran to actually put the nukes on them if they do not open up the port, basically what they've been closing, as well as they do not basically allow United States to basically use the resources that Trump wants them to use. Because let's be real, the only reason Trump is concerned or worried about Iran has nothing to do with regime change. It has everything to do with the fact that he wants a person in charge that will basically bow down and suck off the United States. I have never seen a ruler in my day and age do something dumb like this, because it's not like before. forward, but we can blame it on World War One, World War Two, whatever you want to talk about. You know, we can go into the history of why the United States and the world actually felt like it was right to do it to Japan, even though I don't believe it's right nuking innocent people, because the innocent people that were affected obviously had nothing to do with what the government was doing. But with that being said, people can go back in history and basically tell you why the United States was justified or could be justified of doing this. What Trump is doing would never be justified in history. No one will actually applaud the United States, because the United States and Israel started this bullshit. Iran, y'all can, the bad part about it is, the United States and Trump can basically, well, not the United States, Trump and Israel can go around saying that Iran had this, Iran. But at the end of the fucking day, I don't even care if you are huge. At the end of the fucking day, Iran has not actually showed proof to the world that that was actually their intention. Like no one actually like seen proof of Iran actually trying to like strike United States, and it was basically like blocked or stopped by United States. No one actually has proof of this. If you really think about it, everything that the United States be talking about, Iran is coming to come for us. No one actually has actual evidence to show you that a missile is actually going straight for the United States. Not a single thing has happened in my day and age that proves that was Iran's intention to do with their weapons. Like no one knows this. So with that being said, because Israel and Trump actually struck Iran first and basically has been bombing them and trying to really destroy them, and let's be real, because they basically failed at every aspect of their actual plan of doing in Iran. Now they're basically hitting up and bombing their energy. Iran is basically threatening the United States of, in so many words, open up their sleeper cells. I don't know what's going on, but I can't believe we're living in a world where the United States president has actually publicly threatened, and literally, it's not just me saying it, so many other people that's looking at this tweet are actually taking it as he basically threatening publicly to use a nuke, and basically have the nerve to say at the end, God bless the great people of Iran, knowing that you just said that a whole civilization will die tonight. What the fuck?
What's up guys, welcome back to the channel once again. If you are getting me for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, and also comment. So guys, recently we saw Donald Trump really treated and threatening Iran about civilization. If Iran will not cooperate with the United States, Trump will destroy Iran. This comes with a lot of viral clips. Whole world really reacts towards Donald Trump threats. I want you guys to watch these videos until the end, then I will come back with more comments.
The whole civilization will die tonight. That is Wigzarus's headline for his Truth Social post that he made this morning. Is what a war crime looks like. And I quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want it to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We'll find out tonight." The man in power, you unalived his father, also said, "God bless the great people of Iran." Seriously, somebody needs to stop this man before we get into a place we can't come back from. Turn his ass over to The Hague. Somebody, because at this point he is openly saying he's about to commit a war crime. Unaliving a whole civilization because you thought that you was the big bad wolf. You thought you could be a bully, and now you realize the people that you're bullying, maybe they have more resolve than you. They have more faith than you. They've been on this earth longer than you. This civilization has been here since the beginning of time, and you think you can make them move? Somebody either better get his phone, call for the 25th Amendment, call for Article 2, Section 4, or do the thing we've all been asking for the last, year and some change.
So Trump just said that the whole civilization will die tonight in Iran if there is no deal reached. Now, people said I wasn't, Trump is not begging. I'm telling you right now that when you get put in a position of power and you are not a warmonger and you do not like causing and inflicting pain on people, it does hurt you. It's been like that for people I know in fights, myself. When you are the dominant factor in a situation where there is going to be extreme violence and you know that you're not going to lose, then you will feel bad for the people that you're about to harm. And that is where I believe President Trump is. He is begging them not to do what is going to basically lead to the cause of them being inevitably wiped out. Trump is the man. I will give him that, and I love our president. But what I'm trying to tell people is that, like, you have to understand what he's talking about is something very big, and it hasn't been done in a very long time, and he's willing to do that. And you know, it reminds me of Fat Man and Little Boy, right? Like, when that happened, what happened? Well, they were obliterated so bad that we actually had to go over there and help them rebuild. That's how bad they were obliterated, and that was everybody. That was women, children. That was a lot of people. I don't know if that's this right now, but what I am saying is that you should definitely pray for Iran and pray for Trump, because he wants to win. He doesn't want to give them nuclear weapons. He understands the cost of what they've been saying for a lot of years, and now he's making sure that he ensures that they can never have a nuclear weapon again. Knowing all of this, while he understands that there is always going to be people out there who want to basically take him out. He's a good president. He's probably the best president we've ever had.
I watched Donald Trump's press conference today, so you don't have to. And don't worry, I won't include clips of him in today's video, because I know none of you want to see him. One of the most profound moments of discovery I've had this year is realizing that the UN is useless. The ICC is useless. International law is useless. I went to school for political science and international affairs. I actually interned at the United Nations in Geneva for one summer. I worked at NATO. So I've been in that international system when I was in school, when I was in college, and I had high hopes all my life. I'm a very altruistic person, well, I used to be, about how international law actually meant that the people, the civilized nations of the world, would adhere and abide by the laws they put in place after the last great wars to ensure that things like what are happening in Iran wouldn't happen. But here we are. Our president is a senile megalomaniac that is being propped up by people and yes men in his corner and allowing him to do insane shit. He did a press conference today, and it was one of the most insane things, even more insane than his last press conference, and even more insane than his out-of-pocket insane Truth Social post. The United States and Israel have confirmed bombed one of Iran's biggest universities, akin to MIT in America, producing some of the greatest scientists and minds coming out of the region. They have bombed it. Why are you bombing civilian buildings? Why are you bombing a university? Then Trump said he tried to arm anti-Iranian protesters, but then the guns never got to them and they went to the Kurds instead, and they're gonna pay big. Who the fuck are you giving guns to? Who are the people? Who are the mysterious people? The president of the United States said in a press conference that he tried to arm people in a foreign country that we're at war with, but the guns didn't get there. Why are we talking about war strategy and your failures so willy-nilly in press conferences? I think the craziest part about this whole thing is that he started this press conference by saying Iranians want America and Israel to continue bombing them. He said that the bombs are even falling next to their homes and they want us to bomb them for freedom. No one wants to be bombed in their home. If I saw bombs coming down to the city where I'm at, I would not say, hey, I want to keep getting bombed so you can free me. Who are the terrorists here? Who are you fighting? Who are you fighting? Because you have to ask yourself, as an American, I have to sit and ask myself, America are the terrorists in this scenario? Because you want the Strait of Hormuz to be open. The Strait of Hormuz was open until the United States of America and Israel decided to attack Iran, right? So then now you're saying you're going to attack their nuclear facilities and you're already bombing their petrochemical facilities. And if you do that to an extent, you will poison the water, the air, the terrain, and the people in that region indefinitely. It's a city of 11 million people you're bombing, and you're talking about bombing and causing a nuclear fallout? You want to have a Chernobyl inflicted by you? It makes my head hurt, guys, and I just don't understand who will hold this man accountable. And to round this out, he said that when he's done with Iran, he can go be president of Venezuela because he's not running for president, but somehow he's polling well in Venezuela, and the Venezuelans love him. So he could be president. You have a president who's lying about the war. You have a president who I think is senile, who doesn't even know what's happening, is threatening to attack nuclear facilities, is bombing schools, has already bombed and killed hundreds of children, and now he's saying he's going to go run Venezuela. I don't even know how to make sense of what's happening in the last few days. But that's today's...
I need y'all to listen up. This is a very serious and a very real situation. Things are going to change in this next 24 hours, for better or for worse. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not looking good for either parties. If Trump does let his ego get into way, because he's been totally embarrassed as a president of the United States of America, as a leader, let me tell you something. If he does whatever and wipe out an entire civilization, no American will be safe. No American will be safe anywhere. They will become a target. Fear of retaliation, both inside and outside of a country. Please understand that people already hate Americans for not dealing with the issue at hand. The blood is not going to just be on the hands of Donald J. Trump. It's going to be the hands of the American people, because the American people had the chance to stop it and they did it. Let me tell you exactly what's happened. You guys continuing to go to work, you guys continuing to fund the system, you guys continuing to not stand up, do protests, stay at home, shut down the economy. You guys not doing that has allowed them to rack up enough money so they can carry out this strike that is going to kill so many Iranians. What the president is saying is true. You are telling me Iran doesn't have any allies? Do you think that majority of China's oil comes from Iran? If the US wipes out 20% of the world's oil, every country is gonna feel it. That's one. America will feel it the most. That's two. Three, Trump is on some, oh, if I'm asked out, everybody's asked out. And guess what? That's gonna fuck us over the most. Four, you really think that if Iran loses that oil, China's economy will take a big hit? They're not going for that. China is all about world peace, and they already don't like the US because of Trump. So let me tell you exactly what's gonna happen. Every single country is gonna band together, and the United States and Israel will be considered war crime countries. We're gonna lose businesses, we're gonna lose partnerships, nobody's gonna wanna work with us, nobody's gonna wanna do deals with us. You can't force and fear anything any longer. Congratulations, we're now at the part of this economy that if this shit crashes down and falls, nobody will save us, because the entire world is watching Americans and the American people and the President of the United States of America as they're getting ready to wipe out an entire civilization. That's all.
Trump just posted that a whole civilization will die tonight on Truth Social. He posted this today, April 7th. So let me explain exactly what's happening. Okay, so we all know that Trump stated that his whole goal was regime change in Iran. They wanted to dismantle Iran's capabilities to protect power and prevent Iran from creating a nuclear weapon, okay? That was the cause we've been given. Even though the IAEA said there was no evidence of a structural program to produce a nuclear weapon, we went anyway. Okay, we know that. So what did we do, United States? Well, on day one, we assassinated their leader and his family, several top officials, and hundreds of civilians. And we created the Iranian John Wick. Since then, Trump has continued to move his deadline, like time after time after time. He keeps saying, by this day, no, by this day. Okay, by this day, y'all got 24 hours, y'all got 10 days, you got a week. Tonight. So tonight's deadline, right, by 8 p.m., this is being called the final deadline. And just so that we understood just how serious this man was, he decided to post it on Easter Sunday, talking about some Tuesday will be Bridge Day and Power Plant Day for Iran. The UN called that a direct incitement to commit war crimes. And Iran's UN mission called it clear evidence of intent to commit war crimes. The White House said, we're not worried about it. It's fine. It's fine. And then today he posted this. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where some of the smartest and most radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful will happen. Who knows? Who can really tell? But we will find out tonight in one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world, 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. He's telling 90 million people that their civilization is going to end tonight. And then saying God bless them in the same motherfucking breath? That's not a president talking about government or talking about mission. That is a man talking about people. Killing millions of people, ending millions of people, their existence on this planet. So Iran's response, right, to what Trump said today is that they would act against American infrastructure and its allies in a way that will deprive Americans and its allies of regional gas and oil for years. And they have warned that all restraint has been removed. So yeah, a man with nuclear codes just threatened an entire civilization of 90 million people. No congressional approval, no international coalition, no accountability, and the deadline is tonight. Y'all, this is a hot-ass mess.
Well, Trump just posted on Truth Social again, and the internet is already spiraling. And honestly, my first reaction when reading it was, okay, let's slow down for a second before everyone runs with this. Because when you read a line like, an entire civilization will die tonight, it doesn't sound like a regime. It sounds like a whole country. And yeah, that sounds terrifying. But it's also important to remember something. When American leaders talk about the conflict with Iran, they're usually talking about the regime, not the actual Iranian people. And the Trump administration has consistently made that distinction. And honestly, I cannot imagine being the people of Iran right now. They have lived under a repressive regime for 47 years. Many of them have protested that government at huge personal risk. And now rhetoric like this could make them fearful of the very outside pressure that some hoped might finally bring change. That's also why I personally don't love this language, because rhetoric like this can create fear among ordinary people, deepen division, and it can absolutely be used by the regime as internal propaganda. But strong rhetoric from world leaders actually is not unusual in global politics. During the Cold War, Ronald Reagan called the Soviet Union an evil empire. Harry Truman said nuclear weapons were on the table during the Korean War. And Richard Nixon used what historians call the madman theory, intentionally sounding unpredictable to pressure adversaries. And honestly, sometimes it feels like Trump is using the madman theory too. In these cases, the goal wasn't threatening civilians. It was about pressuring hostile governments and signaling strength. So two things can be true at the same time. The wording here can absolutely sound alarming, and strong rhetoric has also been common strategy in international politics. But in moments like this, I always try to come back to the real people living through it. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but from what I've seen from many Iranians, is a mix of cautious optimism, gratitude for the pressure being put on the regime, and hope that this regime might finally fall. And if that's the case, then the goal should stay clear, supporting the Iranian people while the regime that's ruled them for 47 years hopefully comes to an end.
Are the rest of y'all not nervous? Like, I don't know if it's because I live in D.C., but I wake up stressed, anxiety. Y'all's president said he want to blow up a whole entire country, and people are just sitting here having coffee like a normal day. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. And for those of you who support the president, are you guys supporting this action as well, or are you guys nervous? What are we feeling? How are y'all feeling? I'm in the nation's capital, so I'm feeling a little antsy. Can I tell you, there was fireworks a couple weeks back during the Cherry Blossom Festival. I thought I died. And it wasn't just me. People around me were looking like we couldn't believe. Personally, in the middle of basically World War III, I think it's very inappropriate to be doing fireworks of any kind. I mean, when I tell you I thought I was dead for 3 seconds, I paused. Me and the people next to me, we were all just... This is not normal. What do you guys feel? I don't know. I'm exhausted. I'm anxious. Praying for everyone.
Genocide, which is a war crime. Donald Trump threatens the Iranian civilian population with genocide. Here's what he posted on Truth Social. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. You know what I'm saying? That's what Trump posted on Truth Social. That is a threat of genocide, right? And with Donald Trump has access to nuclear weapons, okay, and if he's talking about wiping out an entire population, okay, never to be brought back again, I wouldn't rule out Trump using nuclear weapons only because he has no control over the Strait of Hormuz, right? And he cannot get his way. The Iranians are in full control, okay? So, to be frank and fair, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth has been killing a lot of innocent people ever since they took office. From they went to the Caribbean seas, blowing up boats, right? And they said they're drug boats. Till this day, currently today, Trump and Hegseth haven't provided 1 ounce of drugs that they recovered off any boat in the Caribbean that they blew up. Not even the 1 ounce. Okay, they haven't shown anything to the public that they recovered off those boats. So what it goes to tell me is that those men were innocent. They weren't drug boats. You understand what I'm saying? And they died for no reason other than to satisfy the ego and appetite of Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. So that's the Caribbean waters. Now let's move on to Venezuela. Remember, Pete Hegseth and Trump went to Venezuela. They killed a bunch of Cubans and a bunch of people in Venezuela when they went to capture Maduro, President Maduro, who they took out of Venezuela, right? So that's other people that died. On top of that, they dropped a Tomahawk cruise missile in Iran and killed a bunch of kids in his school, right? On top of that, the other people that's in the surrounding areas that they blew up and killed. You dig what I'm saying? So of course, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have been committing these war crimes, and they're getting away with it for now, right? They've gotten away with those earlier. Nobody said anything. Lawmakers in Washington sat, they did nothing, said nothing. Now lawmakers in Washington are talking about the 25th Amendment. They want to take away Donald Trump's war powers or possibly remove him or some shit like that. And then with Pete Hegseth, they're talking about articles of impeachment, right? Because they want to remove him from office because he's not a popular guy, and he's doing a lot of illegal killings, because he's approving these bombings. Okay, all these bombings got to be approved by Hegseth and Trump, so they are responsible for the killing of these innocent people all over the world. So this tyrannical regime known as MAGA, right, created by racist and xenophobic people in the United States, is now pillaging, plundering, and going around the world committing war crimes. But guess what? The war crimes, the International Criminal Court in Holland, right, they're looking into these matters, and they're building cases against these people as we speak, okay? So it has nothing to do with the United States. It's in Holland. All right, so if you want to report something to this court, all you have to do is call them and tip them off with any information you have. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are calling them. This one is in Holland, and the number is area code 3170-515-8515. You can call the International Criminal Court in the Netherlands and report different things that you know of, especially the people who are in the Middle East or wherever. You need to contact this court system so they could document, send them videos. International Criminal Court, send them videos of innocent people getting killed, innocent people getting blown up. You understand? Call them, report, send them information, okay? Because Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump will be held accountable for what they're doing to civilians and people who have done nothing to them, innocent people. You know what I'm saying? They will be held accountable. So you don't have to be dealing with the United States and think, okay, it's just up to the U.S. Because obviously you can see that lawmakers in the United States are willing to do absolutely nothing to these criminal acts and these war crimes that are being carried out by Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth. And now it's on you, the civilian population and everyday regular people in society, to start reporting these guys. Again, the number is 3170-515-8515 in the Netherlands. Call them and report matters of concern that you think are crimes against humanity and stuff like that, report them to the International Criminal Court so they could be tried, and they will be found guilty and will face consequences of their actions, because there's no statute of limitations on war crimes. Okay, so if it's 10 years from now, 100 years from now, they will be tried. Okay, stay safe out there. Peace.
Hello, American military personnel. I'm Linda. A whole civilization will die tonight. That's Trump's warning to Iran. Do what I want, or a whole civilization dies. You have until 8 p.m. Now, it's unclear what time zone, Iran or East Coast, Trump is talking about, but given his narcissistic nature, I'm not sure if he realizes there are other time zones. But if this happens, 2 civilizations will die, because the United States of America will no longer be a civilized nation of civilized people. At the end of World War II, the Geneva Convention codified what Pete Hegseth has called, quote, stupid rules of engagement in response to the unfathomable atrocities that were exposed at the Nuremberg and Tokyo trials. In other words, Pete is upset the U.S. isn't operating more like Hitler's Germany or Imperial Japan. We're talking about things like slavery, massacres, human experimentation, torture, chemical warfare, and, most relevant in this case, attacks on civilians and civilian infrastructure, such as blowing up every bridge and power plant in Iran. Right now, Iran is urging its youth to make human chains around their infrastructure in the hopes that Americans will not bomb children, or maybe just not bomb children standing out in the open as opposed to sitting at their desks, because we've proven we will do that. Attacking civilians and civilian infrastructure is a war crime. If you are given an order to commit a war crime, that is an unlawful order. In January, Senator Mark Kelly and other senators and representatives created what Hegseth called a seditious video by reminding you of your obligation to refuse an illegal order. In the video, they say, our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders. You must refuse illegal orders. No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution. We know this is a hard and difficult time to be a public servant, but your vigilance is critical. I'm reposting the video on my channel, and there is a link to it in my bio. I urge you to watch the video again and to share it. Are we a country of laws? Are we a civilized nation? You might be the ones to determine this. Then again, all of this might be a moot point. Today might just be another Taco Tuesday. It's anyone's guess. I think it's a safe bet to say even Trump doesn't have a clue right now.
A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. That was Trump's tweet this morning, April 7th, 2026. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. He said that, referring to the bombing he intends to carry out on Iran tonight, if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz. And to be clear, Iran has said it ain't happening. Iran has responded saying, if you do that, if you try to bomb us, we will take your allies back to the Stone Age. And in fact, Iran did carry out multiple strikes last night, including desalination plants on some of its neighbors. Someone has to stop him, right? We know this. Someone has to stop him. And who will it be? The military, for their part, have been having some pushback. We know that multiple high-level generals and other officers refuse to follow orders. And I think 12 of them have been fired so far, including the Joint Chief of Staff. So the military is attempting to stand up with the power that it has, although they're just getting rid of all the ones who will stand up so that the ones who will go along, who are yes men, will do what Trump wants them to do. So if we don't stop them, who will? Do you really think the world can let this happen? Do you think the world, because if we do this to Iran, who's next? And the rest of the world is watching this, asking that exact question. Go love your neighbor.
Hello, what's up guys? Welcome back. I hope you have just watched that full message, how people they have reacted towards Donald Trump threats towards Iran. This shows how Trump is desperate and panicking. That's why he came up with a speech that if Iran is not really cooperating with the United States, he will destroy Iran. This shows how Trump he has no humanity, because he doesn't even think about those innocent people in that country. This shows Iran is really giving Trump a hard time. That's why he is just coming up with threats towards it. So guys, I'm waiting for your thoughts in comment section, because that is a very arrogant statement from such kind of a leader. And we saw how people came up saying that this person, he must now be taken to the International Court of Law, that is the ICC, because these threats, it really creates fears.